Hi, and welcome to Be Your Own Best Coach Conversations, where you can learn to accelerate your career with self-leadership skills and habits. I'm Glen Lubbert, one of the co-founders of Be Your Own Best Coach. Once again, I'm here with my colleague and fellow co-founder, Dr. Deborah Teplow. Hi, Deborah.
Hi.
This is our second episode for our procrastination series. Procrastination can jeopardize your productivity, financial stability, health, and even your overall happiness and well-being. Fully a quarter of Americans report suffering from severe procrastination. Everyone is familiar with procrastination that takes you off to binge watch a series instead of cleaning out your closet, or accepting an invitation to go out with friends instead of working on a report. But procrastination is also sneaky. In this episode, we discuss what makes procrastination sneaky. So tell us, Deborah, why do you think procrastination is sneaky?
Oh, what a great question. Well, there are as many ways to procrastinate as there are procrastinators. Getting stuck into social media, playing video games, having to finish that page turner of a book, going out with friends, and binge watching the latest streaming series are all familiar behaviors that people use to put off doing stuff they don't want to do. Those behaviors are obvious avoidance strategies, no question about it. But procrastination is sneaky too. You can put off doing one thing, that is the dreaded thing, in place of doing other things that are valuable and useful, like clearing out the fridge, mowing the lawn, deleting old emails, and even doing academic or professional research. On the surface, those substitute behaviors seem perfectly reasonable, but procrastination is sneaky because while we pat ourselves on the back about our accomplishments, what we've really done is pushed aside the task that's actually more important and more urgent. We can look with satisfaction at our clean fridges, manicured lawns, tidy email inboxes, and impressive research findings while our stomach is churning. Our shoulders and back are so tight they're killing us, and we feel a deep sense of doom and dread. And if you're like a lot of people, you might be a victim of sneaky procrastination. So do you ever find yourself filling your time with tasks that look good on the surface, but leave you feeling worse off because you pushed off what was more important and urgent to do? That's sneaky procrastination, so watch out.
Oh, yes. And I've experienced that. And I'm probably mostly doing more research to prevent actually going on and actually doing the actual project at hand. But are there times when pushing off a task to do something else can be good?
That's another great question. And the answer is yes. In fact, there's actually a kind of procrastination that can open the door to greater productivity, creativity, and personal satisfaction. It's sometimes called active procrastination. You consciously choose to put off, delay, and postpone work on the target task by doing other things that in some indirect way help with the target task.
Okay, now that's something I'm very familiar with. When I get stuck, I often go for a walk. That clears out my head, and as oxygen going through your brain gives you different ways of thinking, and that often helps a lot to come back. Or sometimes I just sleep on it, so allow your brain to tackle the problem while you're sleeping in your subconscious a bit, and then coming back at it the next day refreshed. Those are the two strategies that work for me. How about you, Deborah?
Well, those are strategies that are very familiar, and I think they're also often recommended. Take a walk, sleep on it, take some kind of break. What I do is I found is now my go-to behavior. So when I'm struggling to clearly articulate an idea I find myself heading for the kitchen, either to cook or wash dishes. And that's because it's when I've put some mental distance between me and the problem, the solutions seem to pour forth. It's almost like a gushing of an overflowing river. And by the way, climbing into a warm shower works pretty well too. But the bottom line is that sneaky procrastination is an activity that looks productive on the surface, but does nothing to move you forward on your target task. That's why it's called sneaky. And on the other hand, active procrastination, like your walk or your sleep, taking a break by sleeping or my doing the dishes or cooking, that active procrastination postpones your work on the specific target task, but the active participation actually makes it easier to do the target task when you go back to it.
Okay, that's a pretty clear distinction. So to get back to sneaky procrastination, though, the question is, what can we do about that? The binge watching TV, etc. That comes up into play.
Or the research. You mentioned
the research.
research.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, I am, I can raise my hand, and I if it were a competition, I might be at the head of the class, because I love doing that, plunging into medical literature. It's like, oh, well, 3 hours have gone, but I'm doing medical research. Yeah, it's like, yeah, but did you write the report that's due in an hour? So, so you asked, what can you do about sneaky procrastination? Well, one method, it's super easy, super simple. Just ask yourself, is this alternative task that I've plunged myself into helping me move forward on my target task that I'm putting off now, or is it holding me back? So when you say you sleep on it to give yourself some, let the ideas rumble around in your head while you're sleeping, or going for a walk, or I need that mental distance from, sitting at my desk to then just washing dishes, I can definitely say, oh yeah, because ideas just come to me. If it's streaming or binging on my streaming series, nothing's come to me, because my attention's, it's not that it's so captured by the series, but it's definitely on the not thinking about anything except having kind of fun. Then it's not moving me forward. So that's
just turning everything off and
and in fact, I think I have to correct that, because sneaky procrastination actually, I have to correct my mistake. Sneaky procrastination actually looks like you're doing something. So maybe in our cases, the doing research, it's sneaky because it looks like it's super productive. You're doing so good. You're doing research. Like, no, I'm really putting off writing the report that I don't want to do.
Right. And or organizing. Lots of times that becomes like a case of I'm organizing stuff, and that feels like you are doing something, but it's not. But there's procrastination in the underlying that.
The question is the organizing or the doing in the service of the target task? And I think that's what makes the equation simple. Oh, I recognize I just stood up from my desk and I'm, watering my plants. Is that serving to free my mind to gain more clarity about what I'm struggling with? Or is my brain just really off and it's not being refreshed? And, it's just putting off doing the dirty work up.
But that's where the research comes in. That makes it tough to discern, because, the research could be in service of the result. However, you're just spending more and more time on the research when you should be just moving forward. So that's why that's sneaky. That's what makes it sneaky.
That's sneaky. And it's not black and white. It really is a judgment call. It's up to you. And it takes being honest with yourself. And the other thing is doing self-care. You may legitimately need a break. It's not about procrastination. Right. It's, hey, I'm banging my head against the wall. I'm not moving forward because I'm just, I'm exhausted, or, I've just reached that point where I can't produce anymore. I need a break. And then it's not active procrastination in that you've given yourself mental space for ideas to, gush forth or to gain clarity while you're taking the walk. It's just, you need the break. You need that recovery time. So it's always about being hyper aware of what you're doing, mindful of what you're doing, what purpose it's serving, and accepting that, we're not robots. We have to have time to produce, to slough off, to enjoy, to gain some immediate gratification, and also to put our noses to the grindstone for those activities that really do deliver meaningful, longer-term results.
That's fantastic, and is a great place for us to wrap up. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you. Always fun.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Now we want to hear from you. How will you use what you just heard today? Please leave a comment below. And while you're down there, feel free to comment on other people's comments. That's how we generate a community of helpful ideas and suggestions. I also want to let everyone know to check out BeYourOwnBestCoach.com, where you can find a collection of programs and action guides to help you accelerate your career and boost your well-being, including the ultimate guide to getting things done without procrastinating. That's BeYourOwnBestCoach.com. Thanks again for listening, and stay well.